बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली रब्बी ज़िदनी इल्मा अल्लाहुम्मा फ़क़िहना फ़िद्दीन आमीन. Dear students, in previous class we learned how to take the square of numbers. Then we learn how to take squares of fraction, and similarly we learn how to take square of decimals. Today we are going to learn what is square root. See the definition of square root. The process of finding the square root is an opposite operation of squaring a number. Square root is an opposite operation of squaring of a number. Like addition is opposite operation of subtraction, or subtraction is opposite operation of addition. Similarly, multiplication and division are the opposite operations of each other. Similarly, square root is an opposite operation of squaring or square. To understand it, we will find some perfect squares. Here we find square of 2, that is 2 square is equal to 4. 2 square means 2 is going to be multiplied twice. 2 multiplied by 2, that is equal to 4. 2 squared is 4. Similarly, 5 square is equal to 25. 5 squared is 25. Similarly, 7 square is 49. The equation can be read as 2 is the square root of 4. We can read this equation just like this. 2 is the square root of 4. 5 is the square root of 25. 7 is the square root of 49. We can read it just like this, that 2 square is equal to 4, 5 square is equal to 25, and we can also read it as 4 is the perfect square of 2, 25 is the perfect square of 5, 49 is the perfect square of 7. But today we are learning the term square root. So we will read it as 2 is the square root of 4, 5 is the square root of 25, and 7 is the square root of 49. Similarly, we can find the square root of any square number. For this purpose, we use a symbol. For square root, we use, students, this symbol. This symbol is called radical sign. This symbol is called the radical sign, and the term that we will write under this radical sign is called radicand. Now students, let's start exercise 5.2, and we will learn how to find square root of given number. In previous exercise we learned how to find square of the numbers, while here we are going to find square root of the number. For example, part number 1 is here, that is 4. So first of all we will write 4 under the radical sign. Now 4 is called radicand and this is called radical sign. So first we will write 4 under the radical sign. In next step, students, we will write this 4 in the form of square. 4 is the square of which number? Yes, 4 is the square of 2. So we can write 4 as 2 square. Now in next step, since we know that square root and square are the opposite operations of each other, so simply they will cancel out each other. Square is always be cancelled with square root. Both operations cancel each other and we will get simply 2. Means square root of 4 is 2. Similarly, in part number 2 we have 9 square. So in first step of solution we will simply put the radical sign on 9 square to find its square root. In next step what will happen, that 2 will cancel out with square root. Got it? 2 and square root are the opposite operations of each other, so they will be cancelled out with each other, and the answer is 9. Part number 3 is 36. Now first of all we will write 36 in the form of square. Now students, I have told you in the previous classes that learn squares from 1 till 20. You must learn 1 square is equal to 1, 2 square is equal to 4, 3 square is equal to 9, and similarly up to 20. 20 square is equal to 400, so that it will be easy to do these questions. So 36 is the square of 6. So we can write 36 as 6 square. In next step, square will be cancelled out with square root and answer is 6. In this question, y square is given to you. So simply we will write y square under the radical sign. Now square is already present over here. So square will be cancelled out with square root and answer is simply y. Y is our answer. In all these questions, we first write our question in the form of square. Here we write 4 in the form of square. Here our number is already given in the form of square, so square will be cancelled out in square root. But if the number is not given in the form of square, then first we will write the number in the form of square, and square root will be cancelled out with the square, and the remaining radicand is our answer. Now students, question arises that when you have the big numbers, then how you will find their square root? Okay, if you don't learn by heart, 144 is the square of which number? Then what you have to do, how you find its square root? First of all, we will take the LCM of 144, or we will do prime factorization of 144 by the same method that we learn in grade 5 and 6. Simply do the prime factorization of 144. Since 144 is divisible by 2, 2 sevens are, 2 twos are, again 72 is divisible by 2. We get 36, 36 is divisible by 2. Then we get 18, 18 is divisible by 2. Then we get 9, 9 is divisible by 3. Then 3 and 3. I hope that all of you know how to find LCM. If still you have the problem in finding LCM, you can ask this problem on my WhatsApp number. I will inshallah guide you individually. But I know that most of the students know how to do the prime factorization or find LCM. So first is at the first step you have to find LCM of 144. You get all of these factors. Got it? So let's start solution. First of all, we will write our number under the radical sign. Now instead of 144, we will write all of the factors of 144, that are all these. We will write 144 in the product of all of these prime factors, just like this. After this, students, you have to make the pairs. After this, you have to make the pair. Here, this is your first pair, this is your second pair, and this is your third pair. Must remember, in pair you have the same digits. Got it? Now 2 multiplied by 2 can be written as 2 square. This 2 multiplied by 2 can be written as 2 square. This 3 multiplied by 3 can be written as 3 square. Now what you have to do after writing in square, put this radical sign individually on each of this pair. So we will simply put this radical sign on 2 square, radical sign on this 2 square, and also on this 3 square, as it is present in all the factors. In next step, what will happen? Square root will be cancelled out with square, as these are the opposite operations of each other. All the square roots will be cancelled out with the square. The remaining terms are what? 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3. Now simply multiply them. 2 2s are 4, 4 3s are 12, and 12 is your answer. See part number 2, 256. Now we have to find square root of 256. For this purpose, first of all, we have to find LCM by the ordinary method. We will say the LCM of 256, or simply do the prime factorization of 256. LCM and prime factorization are the same thing. How, students? Here I make the chart. What you have to do, just like this, as we did in previous classes. Right here 256. and then 256 at unit place we have 6, means our number will be divisible by 2, so we will write here 2. Now simply divide 256 by 2. What will be our answer? 128. Now divide 128 again by 2, because at unit place we have 8, means this number is divisible by 2. Okay, we will get 64. Again 64 is divisible by 2, so we will write here 2. We will continue our process till the answer comes 1. First we will find prime factors of 256. Then start solution. Write 256 under radical sign, under the sign of square root. Now instead of 256, write all the prime factors that we have already find over here. The next step is make pairs. This is your first pair, this is your second pair, this is your third pair, and this is your fourth pair. After this, you will write your pair in the form of square. 2 square. Why 2 square? Because here we have pair of 2 numbers. So we can write it just like 2 square. Similarly 2 square, similarly 2 square, and 2 square. In next step, simply put this radical sign on all these 4 terms separately, just like this. In next step, square root will be cancelled out with square. All the square root will be cancelled out with all of these square, and remaining elements should be written. 2 multiplied by 2, 2 multiply by 2, multiply by 2, multiply by 2. Multiply all of these values. What is our answer? 60. Now part number 5 is 441. First of all, students, we will find LCM of 441. Now at unit place, we don't have an even number. We don't have here 2468. Means this number is not divisible by 2. Now divide this number by 3. In your rough work, do this division. 441 divided by 3, and the answer will be written over here, that is 147. The students who can orally divide it, that is very good. Try the remaining students also to divide orally. Again at 147 is divisible by 3, so we will write here 3 and we get 49, and 49 is divisible only by 7. 7 sevens are and 7 sevens. So first we will find LCM. In next step we will write instead of 441 it's factor 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 7. Now make the pairs, and then we will write the exponential form of this. 3 multiplied by 3 can be written as 3 square. 7 multiplied by 7 can be written as 7 square. Now since the radical sign is on both the values, so we will put separately radical sign on 3 square and 7 square. In next step, these opposite operations will cancel out with each other, and we get 3 multiplied by 7, and answer is 21. Now students, we have question 1764. So what will be the first step? Yes, first of all we will do prime factorization. This is called your prime factorization by an ordinary method that we learn in our previous grades. Okay, we will write here 1764. At unit place we have 4, so we will start division from 2. We will write here the prime factor of 1764, that is 2. Divide your number by 2, you will get 882. You can do this division in your rough work. Then divide 82 by 2, you will get 441. Again 441 is divisible by 3, as we have done this part in the previous slide 441. So all of these factors we get. The next step is write all the factors in the form of pairs. Simply draw the lines on the same factor. Now write in the form of square. Then in the next step we will cancel out the radical sign with square, and we get 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 7. 2 3s are 6, 6 7s are 42, and it is our answer. Part number 11 is 4356. And what is the question? Question is find square root by prime factorization method. By prime factorization method. So what is the prime factorization method? That we will find prime factors of 4356. How we will find prime factors of this number? By the LCM method. Simply take the LCM of 4356. We have find here the prime factors of this number. So in next step, first of all, you will write all the prime factors of 4356 under it, then make the pairs, and then write in the form of square, then separately put the radical sign on each of the value, cut these signs, and we get 2, 3 and 11. Multiply these three values, we get 66. Students, solve exercise 5.2 question number 1 on book, and must learn by heart all the squares from 1 till 20, so that it will be easy to do this question on book. And question number 2 on your neat registers. Send your images of your work till 9 p.m. Jazakallah. Allah Hafiz.